recent paper, True Grit and Genetics, Predicting Academic Achievement from Personality, explores the extent to which grit is influenced by genes and the environment, and also its prediction of GCSE scores. But could you just start by telling us a little bit about what grit is, maybe how we measure it?
So grit, as defined by Angela Duckworth Group from Penn State University, refers to perseverance or passion for long-term goals. So it refers to extreme stamina or extreme effort. So people who are grittier tend to pursue the goals regardless of any failures or obstacles on the way. And grit has two subscales, perseverance in effort and consistency of interests. Perseverance of effort item was setbacks don't discourage me, and consistency of interest item was I often set a goal but later choose to pursue a different one. And in recent years, research has shown that grit is a significant predictor of school achievement and also just life success in general. However, the critical limitation of the studies to date is the use of highly selected samples. For example, postgraduate or undergraduate students or teachers or spelling competition finalists. So our goal was really to explore how grit relates to school achievement using UK representative sample of 16-year-olds.
So, as you mentioned, children can differ in how perseverant they are. Well, some will kind of give up at the first hurdle. Some children, keep on going until they've solved that maths question. But could you tell me how much of this difference between people, between children, can be explained by genes, and how much can be explained by the environment?
So using a twin method that compares identical twins who share 100% of the genes to fraternal or dizygotic twins who share on average 50% of the segregating genes, we were able to calculate the heritability for grit. So we showed that the heritability for grit, just as any personality trait, is modest. So around a third of the variance or the individual differences between people explained by genetic factors. Shared environmental factors explain no significant variance in grit, and non-shared environmental factors, so these are environmental factors that do not contribute to similarities between twins who grow up in the same family and attend the same school, explain the rest of the variance in grit.
So you mentioned that grit might be closely related to the big 5 personality factors, and you can kind of see some commonality with conscientiousness. So could you tell me a little bit about how they might be related, and also how they might be used to predict, say, GCSE results?
We've known for a while that personality predicts school performance, explaining significant but only a modest proportion of the variance in school achievement. So in our study, we showed that personality factors altogether explain 6% of the variance in the GCSE exam results. However, we also showed that adding grit to the analysis only explains additional 0.5% of the variance in the exam results. What we also showed in our analysis is that grit and big 5 conscientiousness are very, very similar, both phenotypically and genetically.
So that's really interesting, so that 6% of individual differences in GCSE results being explained by those big 5 personality factors. And then when you're controlling for those personality factors, the grit itself only explains 0.5%. So could you just tell me a little bit about how that might relate to policy, and what educators and policymakers should take away from this research?
So yes, developing grit has been set as a major target for Department of Education in US and also UK Department for Education. However, we believe that the results of our study should really warrant some concern in the educational policy directives in US and in UK. Grit only explains 0.5% of additional variance when we control for other personality factors. That doesn't mean that grit can't be trained, or indeed it is not beneficial, but we believe that more research should be done into intervention or training programs before concluding that these intervention or training programs are really indeed beneficial and they indeed improve educational achievement and life outcomes in general.